Hey, this is Latrice McFadden coming to you live all the way from Wendell, North Carolina, out here at one of my clients' new construction homes. And I have talked a lot about doing home inspections, just regular home inspections. But another very important inspection to do is a pre-drywall inspection. So we had that done this morning, and I just wanted to share a couple of things that the inspector found and talk about why it's so important to have the different level inspections, because sometimes we think that it's not worth it to have a home inspection. And I always use myself as an example. When we built our home back in 99, I think it was, um, I was a realtor, didn't heed my own advice and did not have a pre drywall inspection or the inspections during the building process. And my floor for the longest time in the kitchen had a gap, and I always say that if I had had a home inspection, that it would a pre drywall inspection, that they would have caught that. But it's very important because and the inspector that was out here today, he was talking about the difference between the code inspection, which is what the county does, and the county will come in and they will look at certain things, but they are usually here at a home for, maybe 5, 10, 30 minutes max, depending on the size of the home. And they don't look at everything. They miss a lot of things. So I have never had anybody do a pre-drywall, even a foundation inspection, and definitely not a home inspection where there has not been at least one or two things. And with the pre-drywall, it's very important to get that done before, because some things can be more easily fixed when there's no drywall versus trying to come back in and do it after the drywall is here. Like, I've had just simple things like, I don't know, water being reversed or things like that. But I'm going to flip the camera and show you the home, and then I'm going to gingerly make my way back inside and show you this home. But we are out in Wendell. This is new construction. The builder is Pulte, and there's definitely a difference in, builders and quality. This inspector was very, very impressed with the level and the quality of build that this builder has done, and the things that they've gone above and beyond on. So I'm going to flip the this is the home, and you can see it. Of course, it's been raining, so it's a little bit muddy out here, but I'm gonna see if I can get through here without getting too much mud. But so the pre-drywall inspector, he did look on the outside and looked at everything, and you can see this home is wrapped. And there was a couple of places where the wrap was coming off, so he, brought that to the builder's attention. And the builder actually did come over and sort of listen to the summary. So he was in agreement with pretty much everything the builder said. So you can see we just have our studs here. Just a couple of things like, the buyers were asking about wood and stuff like that. And that is all fine. And he went into a lot of detail about when it's not good, and interior studs versus exterior studs. So just a couple of things that he pointed out that needed to be done. He was explaining to us like the different, having these three studs together and stuff like that, and what you need to have done, and then that screws need to be on the third. Guess you can see that. So just some good information. And like I said, what'll happen is he will send the report over, and then the builder will go back through and address those things. And then we actually have our meeting with the builder next week. So we're back in the house. One of the things that he found, the plumbing, there was a leak. So the plumber, you can see that there was a little leak there. So that's where the tub will be upstairs. And so the plumbers are actually on their way back. And again, like I said, there was not a lot to be dealt with in the home. He talked a little bit about the T-joist up there. So just a few minor things overall for the size of this house. It was in really, really good condition. And I have noticed lately that people have been doing much better with their building, and owners taking care of their homes. A lot of my home inspections recently have not been as long as they were in the past. So I'm pretty pleased with what I'm finding on the home inspections and even blue tape. Oh, the guy's back. So hopefully y'all can still hear me, but even the blue tape. So I did want to point out some of the things that he pointed out. He explained about how these are pre-built, but you see these, and I can't remember what he called them, but the little silver things. He went through and looked at all of them, and you can see that there's one missing there out of the whole house, which is a pretty good number. So, but it is one on this side. So when we get the report, they will, fix those. And then he pointed out how some of these were a little damaged and need to be done. So these are just some of the things that you want to have taken care of before the drywall gets put up, because these little things can just have, impact on how your home, settles and things like that. And explained, what these little red screws are and how they're meant to give way. So he was very thorough, and he took a good amount of time with the sellers and me and even the builder, like I said, to sort of go through and explain what we were looking at. Like this, stud is a little bit warped, but I had an engineer tell me that once before that if the house is perfect, then none of us would be able to afford it. So um, just wanted to jump on and talk a little bit about pre-drywall inspections and why it's worth it to get them done and to know what's going on in your house if you're building from the ground up. And some builders, they don't allow pre-drywall inspections. So if you're looking at new construction, you want to ask if you're building from the ground up, because a lot of times now builders are doing spec homes and they've already gotten to a point before they even put them on the market. But if you are doing from the ground up and you're picking your floor plan, your colors, your flooring, your carpet, and all of that, builder will anything that they kind of let you do. Um, Home inspections are buying a home. And I encourage, like, if you're planning, when you're thinking about buying your home, you want to make sure that you factor in to get home inspections. And like I said, it can be, if you're building from the beginning, it can be a foundation inspection, a pre-drywall inspection, then your final home inspection. You can have a radon inspection for um, new construction or existing homes. And I definitely encourage that. Some of the builders now, they want you to wait until I'm going to go out to the back deck because the plumber is out there or they're digging to put the underground plumbing. Or no, 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 that's electrical. I think he said they're digging the wires to run the electric. But some of the builders now want you to wait until after closing to do a radon inspection, and then they'll just give you a credit. But I definitely encourage planning to make that investment so that you can know what you are getting in your home. And even if it's existing homes and the seller says, I'm not going to do any repairs, I still encourage you to have a home inspection so you can know what you're getting into, and then just ask, because people will say they're not going to do any repairs, and then you find out stuff and they might want to negotiate and do some repairs. So um, if home inspections are just critically important, and this pre-drywall inspection is just as important as doing the final home inspection that we will have closer to closing. So typically with new construction, the builder will give you the closing date, and then your orientation is what they call it, is maybe a week before, and then they want you to get your home inspection done the week before that so that they can have a chance to address those punch list items. One of the things that the inspector said too, he talked about, some of these things may or may not be an issue. The builder will need to have an engineer to sign off if it's not, because one of the pieces of wood, the three pieces that were together, one of them was kind of off, so he wasn't sure, if it was fully supported. So there's lots of different things that you want to have, and it could be fine, but it's better for you to know and to you to get those addressed. And you have can go into your new home with confidence because you had those home inspections and you invested in them, instead of waiting until you get in your home and then something is shifting or changing or whatever, and you're like, what is going on? And it's something that could have been easily resolved by just adding those pieces that were loose or the pieces that were missing. um, you can have those. And then it's also get good education on your home and understanding, what does this do? What does that do? And you can keep that in mind. And why did they do this? So that, and the homes have come a long way. We were talking about the reflective material, and I cannot remember what it's called, but that a lot of builders are now putting in to help keep the homes cooler in the attic. So it's a lot of different things that builders are doing and features that they're including. So, but you want to understand and know why things are going on. So, not going to be on here too long. Like I said, just wanted to jump on because we usually talk about a regular home inspection. And this is just another additional inspection that I do highly encourage if you are building a home and can get it before the drywall is done, just so you can know. Get a second set of eyes. The builders work for the builders, and they are doing their very best. But the more eyes you have on it, the better. And then you can deal with stuff before it gets too far along, and then you have to start tearing out drywall to get things fixed. So that's what we have for this Make Your Move Monday. I do want to just send another reminder to my fellow realtors that tomorrow is the day. I am so excited about our Triangle Wealthy Retreat. Tomorrow's our annual retreat. We're going to be at the Frontier Building, 800 Park Offices Drive from 9 to 4. We have a phenomenal lineup for you, and we still have some tickets available. And then we have had a generous, one of our lender partners who has generously offered to sponsor some realtors. So we have a couple of those tickets left. So if money is an issue, do not let it be an issue. Reach out to me and we will get you on one of those sponsored tickets, because real estate is a phenomenal business, but you need to have the opportunity to learn what different people are doing, learn what different strategies are out here. Where's the best place to invest your marketing dollars? Because you're going to have to invest money. It's a business. So you're going to have to invest money to make money. But some things you can learn to do, and it may not cost you anything. It may just be as simple as, following up. So come out tomorrow. We have an amazing top producer panel that will share how they have been so successful in the industry. And you can figure out what works for you. We're going to have about how you're going to manage your leads. We have a session on AI. So we had a jam-packed session for you. So come on out, and we have good brunch for you. So come on out, get there a few minutes early, do some networking, and we'll get started a little bit after 9. And just, I'm excited about the opportunity because I know that it's going to be a phenomenal session. You can go to twgpresents.com and register, and you can use the code 25 off. So 25OFF, excuse me. And register for the event tomorrow. And we look forward to seeing you there. So remember to make your move because every step counts. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And we'll be back on Make Your Move Monday next week. So let me get out of this. It's much cooler today, but it's still very humid out here. So looking forward to seeing my realtor friends tomorrow. And we'll be back on Make Your Move Monday next Monday. Have a good one.